are at the
Which
Hard
is
Rock
really
Casino in northern Indiana.
This is really hard for me to wrap my brain around, Peg, because I feel like we were just here.
Doesn't it feel like we were?
It does feel like we were just here. It feels like that year went really fast, and so much has changed and happened in that amount of time.
So much has changed and happened that Dionne and I now get dressed exactly alike when we wake up in the morning.
What they don't know is that maybe we've decided this is the Peggy and Dionne uniform. We did. Who says no?
So
I say who says no.
I have to tell you guys what happened. Last night, Dionne texted me and she said, "What are you wearing tomorrow?" And I told her what I was planning on wearing. And this morning I got up and I decided I didn't like what I was going to wear. So I changed into my JD t-shirt. So I have my JD t-shirt on and it's navy blue with the bear, the orange bear, and a pair of white slacks and a white blouse that I put over it. And on the way here, I voice texted. Okay, so don't yell at me for texting. I voice texted Dionne. And I said, "Oh, I probably should have told you that I changed what I was planning on wearing today."
Yes, and my response was, "You're ridiculous."
And I didn't tell her what I was wearing. And she says,
"I'm wearing a navy blue tank top and white pants." And she said, "We're going to look like nurses."
Yeah, so welcome to our doctor's office. Kevin, I need some rubber gloves.
I do not have rubber gloves on.
You're
me.
getting scared already, aren't you?
A little antsy. Yeah, you're giving me nervous energy.
Yes, I would like those rubber gloves. I'd like to put them right on.
No, we are here
and do a couple of checks on people.
Here's what I'm going to say. We are here to help with football therapy because 2 weeks from today, the regular it's that kind of doctor's office. 2 weeks from today, the regular season kicks off, which is also hard to grasp at this point, especially because we've been in camp for like an eternity at this point with the Bears. But it is exciting that it's 2 weeks away. I saw on Instagram some husband gave their wife this sign that said 2-week notice of what's going to happen every Sunday from here on out. Like,
right.
Please know that our attention will be turned towards the NFL when that happens.
And the Bears are getting busy. They're getting busy. They have to cut down their roster to 53 by Tuesday at 3:00. So they keep making moves. They made a couple of big moves. If you were not with us yesterday, and of course, why would you not be joining us? There is always breaking news on our shows.
It does feel like that happens a lot. Didn't they get Keenan Allen on our show?
Yes, there's always breaking news on Peggy and Dionne
happening. We are really at the forefront of breaking.
Yes. So the Bears, not only did they make a move on Friday to pick up Darrell Taylor from the Seahawks.
I think it's just Darrell.
Is it Darrell?
I think it's
not Darrell. It's Darrell. Do we know for sure?
I that's what I've said. Well, we can ask the expert.
Oh, so I see. So because that's what you said, that's correct.
Peggy, what would make you think it's Darrell?
Because there's 2 R's and 2 L's.
Okay.
You literally said to me, it's because that's how I pronounce it, that yours would be right. You probably are right.
Listen, coming from Dionne and Dionne, like, let me just pronounce how I want to pronounce.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, wait a second. We've been through this now all year.
1,000 times.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to call him D. I'm going to call him D. Taylor.
DT?
Yeah, D. Taylor. So after picking up D. Taylor, they also got Chris Williams. Inside C. Williams.
Not to be confused with the other.
That's
C.
right. An inside tackle. They need depth with Zach Pickens being injured right now. They don't know when he is going to be available. Mm-hmm. So they wasted no time in making some moves.
Well, it was interesting too, because Matt Eberflus talked about that, needing that depth at defensive tackle on Thursday night. And he has such familiarity with Chris Williams. And I liked what he said yesterday, Peggy, when he said I credited him for how hard he worked to get our attention. I mean, this is a guy who came in undrafted to Indy, and he knows and he understands the hits principle, but he actually implemented it. So he's excited to be here. You could tell both guys, it was kind of a whirlwind 24 hours, like so unexpected, but they're ready to hit the ground running. And what Taylor was saying just about, you can tell they're excited about what the Bears have going on, and I'm excited to be a part of that. So that's very exciting. It does, of course, make the Bears make other moves, right, to set the roster up for the 53 when they get there on Tuesday. And we are definitely paying a lot of attention to that, because there are some bubble guys that we'll see where they end up landing. Maybe we can ask our friend Adam if he has any insight on who might be let go.
That's right. She just teased friend of the show, Adam Schefter, is going to be joining us.
Best friend of the show.
He might be our BFF.
I think he is.
He's definitely our BFF. He has had as many appearances as Chicago Party Ant.
Yes, that's true. We're right there, neck and neck now.
They're neck and neck.
Yeah.
Our returning guest, but Adam Schefter is going to join us, and he spent yesterday at Bears camp and with the Bears, so he should have lots of great insight for us as well. What he observed, Caleb Williams, any inside information about the Bears' future at quarterback, and of course Ryan Poles and what Ryan Poles may be thinking. He's got a couple of contract extensions that he is going to have to make decisions on with some guys. Totally. And I believe 2 years ago when Adam was here was when we talked about Tevin Jenkins and the issues they were having with Tevin Jenkins and whether or not they were going to keep him. And so now Tevin Jenkins' name comes up because he's up for a contract extension.
That story is still remarkable to me. I remember the day that cut day went past and he was still a member of the Bears, and he was genuinely surprised by that. So I thought that was intriguing. I do feel like we've skipped over the reality. We are at Football Fest at Hard Rock Casino in Northern Indiana, and we love coming here. I love seeing the fans coming in now. Everybody settling in for what's going to be an awesome day. ESPN Chicago will be out here until 3:00 today. And we'll be mingling with the fans, getting you guys excited for the season ahead. So we want to thank Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana for rolling out the red carpet as they always do. And we have so many sponsors that made today possible. So thank you guys so much for continuing to support not only Football Fest, but our football coverage throughout the entire year.
Tullamore Dew,
my favorite. My favorite. I already asked about it.
So for those of you,
when did we get that?
I would just like to point out the fact that I am not the only lush on this show.
No,
because Dionne asked before I did, are we getting our shot of Tullamore Dew?
And we will after.
And I
we're
said,
done
our boss is here.
No, we're not.
Our bosses are here
on the air,
right? And they probably don't want us to imbibe on the air.
No, but I will. Let's just
so it means we have to wait till a commercial break.
Oh, stop! No, we will wait till we're done. It's only an hour show we have today.
I can make it happen during the break. If you want.
Thank you. We knew you could. Yeah,
yes. Actually, yes.
I do love Tullamore Dew. So thank you so much for your continued support. Asfound Broadband, Field Cheer, Toyota. You guys are awesome. And we know that we appreciate how much you invest in our coverage every year. So thank you so much. And Football Fest is here.
Do you think that Adam Schefter brought a magician to Bears camp yesterday?
A magician? Why would he need a magician?
Because he brought a magician to Jets camp last year.
He did?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yes.
No, if he's our best friend, I should know these things.
How do you are not being a good best friend.
Is this our third Football Fest, Peggy?
Yes.
It's just our second.
No, it's our third.
Really?
We have been together. We're an old married couple, Dionne.
That's why
we are already.
I'm
like
forgetting anniversaries.
The honeymoon. Wait, what did Jason?
The honeymoon hype is over.
The honeymoon hype is over with Peggy and Dionne. Yes, the honeymoon hype is over between us already. Yes, this is our third.
Wow, I wasn't aware. I mean, it's because I'm having so much fun that the years just zip right by.
Yeah. Oh, I like the way she says that. Very, of course, with a wink in her eye, that little twinkle in her eye.
You know what is fun about this, though, Peggy? I just see a Lance Briggs jersey and the fans here that everyone's here. Like, it's very rare that we get the whole ESPN Chicago family together.
Yeah,
this is one of those days. This is like our holiday, right? Like our Thanksgiving day where we're all going to be together and hang out. Don't
you think that we should have each of them come in and be a guest on our show since we all fill in on their shows?
Yes.
Do they ever fill in on our show?
Jeff Meller and Tyler Aki do.
Yes.
But that's about it.
Yes. What about Sylvie?
Never.
What about Tom Waddle?
Also no.
Carmen DeFalco?
No.
Yurko?
Immediately no.
Immediately no for Yurko.
It's Saturday at 11. No way. No way.
Black and Abdallah would if we asked them.
They would. I think so,
but
too.
I think they would say no.
They'd say, can we do it from home?
Yes. Yes.
Hey, okay.
Cap?
No.
Woody?
No.
No, there's no way. See? But yet we fill in on their shows.
That's true.
Yeah.
Tom Thayer would join because he's called in. He listens.
Jason McKee has joined us.
Yes, he has. Mm-hmm.
Tom Thayer has joined us.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Joniak has not joined us.
He has not.
No, because he's He's guest number one.
He's very
Courtney
important.
Cronin has joined us
more than once.
I mean, Courtney's coming pretty close to also being one of our BFFs of the show.
I was just thinking, Adam's also called into the show.
Yes, he
in
has.
addition to being live with us.
Yes. So he is the front runner.
He is the best friend of the show. Yeah.
He is the front runner.
That's true.
There is a lot going on with the Bears. They have a light walkthrough today. And, it's interesting with them signing detailer, with them signing.
Maybe Adam knows how to
with them signing detailer. Does that mean Yannick Ngakoue is out of their realm? They're not even focusing on him. He's not an option, I should say.
I would think no, but I don't know. It depends on how they end up. Remember, we were talking about some of those bubble guys, and if they feel like they can have room for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like they liked him, but when Eberflus was questioned about it, I didn't think he tipped his hand one way or another. He kind of was like, he's not here. We're not talking about that.
You know what I would think? This is what I think. I think that with the Bears' schedule being as it is, that they have a really good opportunity to really make a good run early before they hit the division series in November.
Which is so different.
If it is looking like they are looking good and there is a postseason opportunity and that the pass rush is still faltering, I think that before they hit that run in the schedule, that absolutely Ryan Poles will be looking to bring someone in.
Well, you heard Poles on the pregame show on Thursday night talk about that he's constantly evaluating and looking at his roster with a long view, with what will help us 2 to 3 years from now, not necessarily right this minute.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to keep that in mind, even based on no matter what happens over the first 4, 5, 6 weeks until they get to the division play. Is it that long? Is it 6 weeks? It's after London.
It's longer than that. It's like November.
So it's like
it's
10.
It's a
8,
Thanksgiving
9?
weekend. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit. Oh yeah, it's a long. So that's what I mean. They have a really great opportunity.
Yeah.
With the way their schedule is playing out right now, they have a really, really good opportunity to get some wins on the board early. And we'll see. 4-0 preseason. Woohoo!
No telling what could happen
right.
from here. I'd love to. I wish I had the energy. It's not important, but to go back and be like, how many teams did go 4-0 in the preseason, and then nothing.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No.
But I'm going to say, for a team that has won only 10 games over 2 seasons, that's some fun momentum to feel like, okay, wins have been hard to come by. We won. We beat up on other people's backups. That's fine. Get that energy. Get it going. Think in a winning way.
Remember how bad the Chiefs looked last year early in the season? They were really struggling, and they have the whole opinion of not playing the starters. They don't get a lot of reps in the training camp in terms of preseason games, and they righted the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're always going to right the ship.
Well, and that's really the key. That's what and the Bears did so much later. They got off to such an awful start last year.
Eberflus's first year, he didn't play his starters much at all, right? And like 18 snaps. I think that's right. And then this last year, it was like, no, we're going to play the starters more. So they did play. They played in that 4th preseason game. I remember it vividly, or 3rd, whatever it was. I looked at it. I was like, wow, I forgot that the starters played in that game, and it still didn't matter.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the personnel. It depends on the energy. It depends on. I think there is momentum to what the Bears have done. Not necessarily the preseason 4-0, but just momentum to what they've done. Everybody's ready.
They're improving. Ready. They're getting
the
better each day.
There.
You see the camaraderie is there. The units are working together.
Things have made sense in the preseason. So now make it make sense when it counts.
Let's take a break. When we come back, the man you guys all want to hear from, Adam Schefter, is going to join us, give us a little insight into the Chicago Bears and maybe what they might be doing this preseason heading into the regular season. It's Peggy and Dionne. We are live at Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Peggy and Dionne on Chicago's home for sports. This is ESPN 1000. Tuesday night, right after the TV spotlight on the Bears. Tune into the ESPN Chicago channel on YouTube for instant reaction to the newest episode from our hosts. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Pick up a pepper today at McDonald's.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality. that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Cubs fans, stream Cubs games now. Marquee Sports Network brings you a new way to stream your favorite team. Visit watchmarquee.com to subscribe and stream Chicago Cubs baseball, pre- and post-game shows, exclusive programming, and more. Your Cubs, your way. Subscribe now at watchmarquee.com. Look for the Hard Knock Life exclusive podcast, hosted by Pat the Designer and J-Mac, Jason McKee. It drops on Wednesdays on the ESPN Chicago app, powered by the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, partnering with your business to save money and energy.
Hey guys, it's Sylvie. I want to tell you about my friends at Window Nation. Call them today at 866-90-NATION, and everyone is talking about Window Nation. Not only did I replace my windows in the kitchen, in the master bedroom, and in my kids' room, I went back for a second year in a row and replaced my windows in the living room. I get tweets from our listeners all the time telling me, hey, Sylvie, I just got my new windows from Window Nation. And right now, they're celebrating their anniversary. Happy anniversary to Window Nation. And you can celebrate as well with great deals. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free with no limit. So buy 4, you'll get 4 free. Plus, you'll have no interest payments for 24 months. And on top of all of that, they'll give you an extra $250 credit as well. So call my guys at Window Nation, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. You got to hurry, though. The sale ends on August 31st. It's windownation.com or 866-90-NATION.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off. From first downs and touchdowns
right.
to turnovers, no, and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice. Let's go. This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Beyond's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Live from Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, this is a special ESPN Chicago Football Fest edition of the Peggy and Dionne Show. Thanks to our participating partners, Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, Tullamore Dew, Field Cheer, and Astound Broadband. Now back to Peggy Kaczynski and Dionne Miller.
Saying it right today.
I know. Big Voice has always said your name correctly.
I know. I'm really impressed. Welcome back to a special edition of Peggy and Dionne. Just a little snack, an hour show today as we kick off Football Fest from
we wouldn't want to give them
Northern
indigestion.
Indiana. No, too much of us is too much of us.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but we are excited to be here because it means the start of football is so quickly approaching.
Yeah, and our special guest, this is who everyone wants to. You guys don't want to hear from us as much as you want to hear from ESPN's insider, the best NFL reporter there has ever been
on the planet.
Adam Schefter is joining us now here at Hard Rock Casino in Northern Indiana. Is Adam out here? Come on up. No, he's not here. What?
He's here.
You know what's funny?
Mingling. It's fun.
When we were chatting with him, his phone went off 3 different times.
Of course.
And while we were talking, he was texting. One was from a coach. And so he was texting a coach back. And I tell you that every year I want him to sit in the middle chair.
Yes. Well, we can do that.
Just no. No, just so that we can
Peek
look
at his
over
phone.
his shoulder. But
No,
I would never do that. I actually would never.
One
do
of the
that.
things I do enjoy about him is that he does only have one phone, but he also
No, he has two phones.
I thought he only had one.
No. He has two phones
Well,
because you have to have one in case the other one goes down. Yes.
But I do know that he's super intentional about his family and paying attention to that. And I love that about him.
I think when his daughter travels with him, she mans the personal phone.
Oh, yes.
Not the work phone.
Of course.
Because I've seen him do some other.
Can you imagine if she's like, hang on, let me get my dad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she sees who it is.
Yeah.
Then they have like hand signals from the audience, and she lets him know who's calling.
Of course.
And he's like, sorry, I gotta go. Right.
Right.
No, but this is such a big time because of all the roster cut downs.
Right.
And Adam spent yesterday at Bears practice, and we were talking about, and I can't wait to get his impressions. We were talking about Caleb Williams, and he hasn't met him yet, but he says, he sees what the hype is all about, and the Bears with what they are hoping he becomes. Everything is in place for that to happen.
It is, and I think he's got the right demeanor, Peggy. That's what stood out, I think, to everyone who does have interactions with Caleb Williams, is that he's consistently himself. And that's what we've seen. We've seen it on Hard Knocks. We've seen it when he comes to the podium. We've seen it when he interacts with that sweet little fan on the sideline. We saw it when he was on with Big Cat. Like he is the same. He's consistently the same. And for someone who has had that kind of attention on him since he was in high school, and to carry it through to 2 different colleges and coaching changes and the ups and downs of just life, and to do it with such grace and ease, it says a lot about his upbringing. It says a lot about his foundation, but hopefully that means a lot for winning football.
Do you think have we seen enough of Caleb Williams this in the pre? You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yes, because
I would like to see him play a full half. I would like to see him face more adversity. A full half, go into the locker room, make your halftime adjustments, come in the third quarter, because the other team is also going to make some adjustments.
Yeah, but the reason I think that we have is because of when he was asked what's something he's learned about the Bears, and he said our defense is really good. So he's facing challenges who love to get after him. Peggy, the Bears defense is so loud at practice, you guys. I mean, every chance they get to taunt the offense, they do. It's why things led to pushing and shoving the other day when they were practicing against each other. It was hot. It was a long practice, and they start, jawing at each other, right? And you could tell when the offense did something good, they were being overly obnoxious because the defense has
always been
obnoxious,
like that,
right?
yeah.
So I think that is a challenge every day. They counted the reps that he had against the Bengals when they had that joint practice, although it was brief and in the rain, which was incredibly dangerous. But they counted that also towards what they saw from him, and also they are privy to how he's dissecting things when he's watching tape, right? I don't think what we saw between Caleb and Eberflus during Hard Knocks is actually accurate of what's happening. I think he's sitting down with the offensive coaches, with Sherry Joseph and Shane Waldron. I think they're sitting down together. And what lends me to believe that even more was that Tyson Bagent is able to articulate everything. And I think that the education he's getting in the quarterback room is why they feel so confident about what he's going to do.
And you don't think he's meeting with Matt Eberflus?
No, Peggy, I do not.
Oh, I absolutely think so, because Matt Eberflus's career is going to very much center around the success of Caleb Williams. I think he is very hands-on, and I think he is absolutely.
I just don't think it's. I don't think it's the way it looked on Hard Knocks.
There's other meetings. He's definitely with Shane Waldron, and he's definitely with Kerry Joseph. But, you read in Dan Wiederer's column today in the Chicago Tribune, his sit down with Caleb Williams. Caleb is there 2 hours before meetings start. Yeah. So he's there at 6 a.m. and then he leaves at 8, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So he's the first guy in and he is the last guy out, because then he says, I go home and then I do some more homework.
Yeah.
So
that's why I feel that, but it's those sorts of things, Peggy, is why I think that they're comfortable with where he's at right now. I think I appreciated that they struggled against the Bengals that they went 3 straight 3-and-outs, and that he stayed in there, and that they stayed with that first team and allowed them to get in a rhythm. I appreciate that because that was a moment.
Yeah.
And what did we see? We didn't see him hang his head. We didn't see him get frustrated. We saw him keep his head up and turn things around. I mean, how many times have we talked about the past few quarterbacks as the first sign of adversity they checked out? The first sign of adversity. They got in their head. Fields was the worst at that. It would get in his head and then he couldn't recover. And I don't see that from Caleb.
Well, what I do see from Caleb, I do like, but I still think he needs to see more live snaps, he needs to face more adversity. He needs to face more defenses that don't have, Chicago Bears uniform on. So let's take a break. When we come back, we should be able to get Adam Schefter here. This is a really busy time for him. So we appreciate him taking the time to join us here at Football Fest at Hard Rock Casino in Northern Indiana. We'll be right back, Peggy and Dionne, a special edition from Football Fest on ESPN 1000.
More Peggy and Dionne coming up
on Chicago's home for sports, ESPN Chicago.
The Sox and Tigers on the South Side. Live coverage begins today at 12:30 on ESPN Chicago.
8 months of thrilling playoffs, of impossible comebacks, of nerve-shredding putts on the 18th hole. Come down to one final showdown in Chi-Town. Catch Live Golf Chicago at Bolingbrook Golf Club from September 13th through 15th. And see Rahm, Cam Smith, DeChambeau, and more battle for the season's overall individual championship with superstar DJ Cascade opening the party on Friday night. Get your tickets at livegolf.com. That's livegolf.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text JUDGE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text JUDGE to 321-321. That's JUDGE to 321-321.
Imagine a place with the vibrance of the city and the comforts of suburbia.
Time to stop imagining. Guys, it's Carmen bringing you the scoop on Elmwood Park, where history, culture, and cuisine collide for the ultimate summer experience. Spend a date night or a night out with friends along Restaurant Row on North Avenue. From the upscale delights of Jim and Pete's to the legendary flavors of Johnny's Beef, or maybe a sweet escape at Masa Cafe, Elmwood Park has your cravings covered. Come taste the excitement in Elmwood Park, where every bite tells a story.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Live from Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. This is a special ESPN Chicago Football Fest edition of the Peggy and Dionne Show. Here comes. Thanks to our participating partners, Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, Tullamore Dew, Field Cheer, and Astound Broadband. Now back to Peggy Kaczynski and Dionne Miller.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hard Rock Casino in Northern Indiana. Dionne next to me is chatting up our special guest, Adam Schefter from ESPN, who is joining us now. Hi, Adam.
Hello, Peggy. Hello, Dionne. Hello,
It's
everybody.
nice to see you.
I was
Yay.
fixing the picture that we just took.
Yeah.
Dionne says to me, do not crop me out.
Okay, so last year we took a selfie, the three of us, right?
Mm.
And I was on the end. Peggy cropped me out and put the two of you on her Christmas card as if I wasn't even there. As if I wasn't even there.
So on the back of our Christmas card every year, we always do like a celebrity shot, whether someone in the family meets somebody. And I thought, well, my family's all going to go, so that you have to turn the card over to see who the celebrity shot is that year. And I thought, well, are people going to know who Dionne is in my family? And so I thought, well, I have a huge family all over the country. And so I just cropped her out so it looks like it was just you and I.
Well, Peggy, I enjoyed our time together. I will say that. And it was an honor to be on the family Christmas card.
Well, there you
And
go.
you know what? It's our card, right?
Right.
It's no problem. If Dionne wants to take a picture and send it out as her Christmas card
This year?
me and her, that's the way it'll be.
That's the way it'll be. It's my turn this year.
Exactly.
I know. I got up yesterday morning at 5:30, and the notifications on my phone was lit up, and it was Adam Schefter reporting. You had something about the players getting stuck in the elevator.
Yeah.
Okay. The Chargers players getting stuck in the elevator. And it said on there 3 hours ago. Well, I got up at 5:30. So at 2:30 or 3 in the morning, you were working, you were posting. Is that true?
It could be, yeah. It often happens.
I would imagine.
When do you go to bed?
I sleep intermittently.
Seriously?
Seriously.
That
So
doesn't surprise me.
when that happened with the Chargers players getting stuck in the elevator in Dallas, does someone text you and say you're never going to believe what happened?
Well, you're talking to people, you hear these things, they're ESPN has Newswire. Like, there's a lot of different ways information comes about. But during the season, like, I was thinking this yesterday. It's Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. And next weekend is Labor Day weekend. So next weekend will be the final Saturday that if I want, I can sleep relatively peacefully through the night for the next 20 plus weeks. Because on Saturday nights in season, I know what it's like. I'm up working until late 11, 12 o'clock. And then I'll go to bed for an hour or two. And I get up and I check in a couple and I go back to bed for another hour or two. And then I get up. And 5 in the morning, we're going up to go to Bristol, Connecticut on Sunday. So Saturdays in season are always pretty challenging. But look, that's the job, right? I mean, that's what we do. Everybody's got a version of it. Saturdays in season for me are tough. Sundays are tough. Really, a lot of days are tough. But again, that's just everybody's job is tough. I'm not any different.
It is.
Mine's a little bit more public sometimes.
Exactly.
Well, very much so. And I know you had enough energy to be around the Bears yesterday. What are your impressions of what they've built and how Ryan Poles has kind of restructured that team?
Well, what's interesting is we were here last year talking about the Bears, right?
Mhm.
And everyone was excited last year. And now I'm out there yesterday, right? New quarterback, new running back, 2 new receivers, new tight end, defensive addition. Like, it's
2 new coordinators.
It's a different team, different team. And the great thing about it for the Bears' sake is that, and we were talking about this before, if Caleb Williams is what people say, and if he is what the Bears think he is, and they think he is that, then this team's set up for the next 12 to 15 years to be relevant and competitive.
That is incredible. That is worthy of applause. It has been at least that long since we felt that way.
And
about
I
the
told
Bears.
Peggy, like, my very first newspaper job was in Denver covering John Elway.
Wow.
And I started covering him in 1990, 35 years ago. And every year, I covered him for the final 8 seasons of his career. Every year, the Broncos were competitive, relevant. They didn't always have the kind of season that they wanted or their fans wanted, but every year they would go to camp thinking, we got a shot this year.
Yeah.
And if Caleb is that, for the next 15 years, Bears fans are going to go into camp thinking, we've got a shot this year.
We were also talking about, I said he's very professional. He carries himself like a professional, like he was literally born to do this. And we joke about, he pulled that little girl, he walked over, gave her a big hug during the game on Thursday night, made her cry. He didn't have to do that. He could have signed something and tossed it up there. And my immediate reaction was, Jay Cutler never would have done anything like that.
No.
And I know people laugh and they go, oh, so what? What does that tell you about him? Well, when he says at his opening press conference on draft night that I can't wait to get to know who the security guards are and the janitors and the secretaries and all that, it tells you more about the man.
Well, I'll tell you this. Yesterday, in talking to a bunch of Bears officials, coaches, whatnot, that was one thing that they highlighted to me about Caleb, is that he's very aware of who he is, what his job means, and how that pertains to every individual in the building, so that he's meeting the chef, he's meeting the security guards, he's meeting the custodian, the janitor, he's meeting everybody and getting to know them. And so I just think he's very cognizant of his significance and his importance in Chicago's football stratosphere.
Yeah.
And it is, he is of vital importance. And I feel like he's handled everything with this, just awareness is right on and off the field, the awareness, but he's just handled everything like he was meant to do this. Nothing seems too big for him. The spotlight doesn't seem too big for him. He understands the role, but specifically in Chicago, I feel like he's already grasping what he means to the fans. Now, the Bears have been busy the last couple of days bolstering their defensive front. Do you feel like adding Darrell Taylor and Chris Williams is depth, but are they going to continue to look for another edge rusher to complement Montez Sweat? Is that something that they're really worried about?
I think it's hard to think that on August 25th, you're going to go out and add somebody who's going to be a big difference maker. Like they went out and added Montez Sweat last year. They brought in a couple of little pieces like that. You can't get everything done right away. It just doesn't work like that. So that's why you bring in back-end roster guys that you hope can provide some production, some depth, and that's what they've done this week. It wouldn't surprise me if they look to trade a couple of players where they felt like they had depth, get back a 7th-round draft pick for a certain player where they feel deep. That could happen, but obviously somebody would have to be interested in a certain player too, because everybody's got to cut 30-plus players.
Yeah.
Right.
So everybody's looking to get back something for nothing in the end, and it's not always easy to do.
Yurko and I talked about this on the post-game show the other night, is the depth at defensive back. Their secondary is so strong. They got some young kids that if they release them, even if they try to hide them on the practice squad, they will get picked up right away. Running back and wide receiver room are the other two rooms that they are very deep in. And the biggest name, the enigma to Bears fans, is Velus Jones Jr. Ryan Poles seems to have a attachment to his former 3rd-round pick.
Well, naturally, it's his first offensive selection. I think that makes sense.
And Ryan Poles has never released one of his own draft picks that was drafted higher than the 5th round. This year, he has Velus Jones Jr., Tyler Scott, Dominique Robinson. He's a 7th-round pick, so he doesn't count as that high of a pick. But as Adam is responding to his text messages, do you think Ryan Poles, and have you had conversations with him about Velus Jones Jr.? It is the biggest name in Bears fans' minds that
in terms of
that they switched him from wide receiver to running back. They're trying to find a spot for him, whereas people feel he has not made enough of a difference and that they need to cut the cord.
Well, that might be a guy that you look to see if he could help another team at the wide receiver or running back position. I mean, that's the kind of guy where I think if it's not going to fit or work in Chicago, you're on the phone. There might be a team out there that needs some help. And if you get back, I don't know, a 6th, 7th round draft pick, conditional, why not? I don't know what will happen with him. I did not speak to Ryan Poles about Velus Jones in particular, but that would be somebody that I would think that they want to see if there's any interest before they moved on from him.
Has what Ryan Poles done here in Chicago, though, gotten the league's attention, you feel like?
Of course. I mean, it also helps when you have 2 1s and one is the number 1 overall. Like, that's great. But he's done a great job remaking that roster and bringing in talent and changing the look of this team. I mean, they've been very active, very aggressive, and he's the leader of that.
There's a couple of guys whose contracts will expire this year. 2 of the biggest names, I would say, Keenan Allen, who they bring in, and no one really expects them to give Keenan Allen an extension at what wide receivers are getting paid right now. His leadership, his experience, his skill set is phenomenal, and it works great with a rookie quarterback. And Tevin Jenkins, the other one, is moved from tackle to guard on the offensive line, and they told Tevin Jenkins' agents that we'll talk again in October. What do you see as the future for those 2 guys, Keenan Allen and Tevin Jenkins, with the Bears?
I think that you want to see how the season unfolds. You want to see how they fit in, how they like it. You want to see all those things like that. So that's a part of it. Keenan Allen, they go out and they drafted Dunze, and they paid DJ Moore. So it's hard to pay everybody at that spot, and they only gave up, I believe, a 4th-round draft pick for Keenan Allen, right? So you want to make sure that Caleb is as comfortable as he can, and I think they view Keenan as a guy that helps get Caleb indoctrinated and up to speed. And I think part of it will be, okay, how important is he? What is it going to cost? Does he want to test them more? Is there a meeting ground? Because these wide receivers are being paid such big money. Do I think that Chicago is giving Keenan Allen $30+ million a year? I don't.
Right.
But does he think he's worth that? Could he get that? If he can, good for him, and he should go get it.
Yeah.
But if he can't, and there's a common ground and it goes great, then that would be logical. So I think it's how the season unfolds before you can figure out whether a guy is or isn't coming back.
I know that already his impact has been felt, not just in the wide receiver room, but even challenging like a Tyreek Stevenson, who says, man, the way and what have we praised Keenan Allen about all the time? He's just an incredible route runner, and his ability and vision and what he's able to do is really challenging the Bears secondary, which is pretty cool. But Peggy and I have a fantasy football league, okay, just for women. Right. So yesterday I did see that you released your fantasy advice, I guess we call it. I'm calling it the wrong thing. What's it called?
Cheat sheet.
Your cheat sheet. That's it. Thank you. And I noticed there was only 1 Bear on the whole thing. Only Rome. And that was like in the middle round.
Well,
right?
Here's the thing. I have no problem drafting Caleb Williams or DeAndre Swift or I have no problem taking any of that. It's just a question of like, what's the value?
Yeah.
And so I think that Rome is going to be a value where he's going. Like his average draft position is in the 80s or 90s. So I'm going to take a flyer there.
Okay.
DeAndre Swift might be in that same category, especially being there yesterday. I was talking to them about him, and I have a little bit of a different idea. So he might have been a guy that I put. You can't put everybody.
I know.
Right.
Well,
so
we wanted a Bears-centric cheat sheet. I'm just kidding. I agree with you about DeAndre Swift, though. I love to watch him run. I think he's going to fit so well with this offense in a new way.
I asked Dionne also, I said, do you think that Adam Schefter brought a magician to Bears camp yesterday? And she didn't know about the magician.
I did.
To Jets
the
camp.
Mentalist.
Yeah, the Mentalist. That was it. The Mentalist.
The Mentalist.
Yes. So did you have any kind of interactions like that with Bears meetings yesterday? Are you going to be on Hard Knocks?
I didn't notice any Hard Knocks cameras coming over to me or anything like that, so I would not expect that to be the case, but you never know. Oz the Mentalist is a guy who anybody, if you haven't seen it, just Google some of his work. I've brought him around to some teams each of the last few summers. This summer, I took him to the Bills and the Eagles.
Yeah.
And we had
so cool.
He's
freaky.
He's freaky.
Yes, I know.
Really?
Oh, it's freaky.
Oh, I have to see this.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Yeah.
Like it'll freak me out.
Yes.
Yeah. Just Google Oz the Mentalist and the Bengals. And just watch it, okay?
Yep.
Oz the Mentalist and the Bengals. And I took him around the summer to those two teams, the Bills and the Eagles. And what he did for them and to them was mind-blowing.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, by the way, like he came back to my house because where I live was on the way to his house.
Yeah.
So he came in. My in-laws happened to be over that day. So I was telling my in-laws, like, who, you know, this is Oz the Mentalist. They were aware of him. And my father-in-law was like, yeah, okay. And he's like, why don't you tell me?
Oh, he was testing him.
He was testing him. Why don't you tell me? I'm thinking of a friend from my childhood. And he goes, okay, write down the name of the car. Okay. And he goes, there's a B in that name, isn't there? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, Herbert.
Oh my gosh.
And he goes, and my father-in-law was like, yeah. And he goes, and his last name begins with an H, doesn't it? And my father-in-law goes, Herbert Hauser. And the mentalist goes, and he lived in apartment 4D.
Oh my gosh.
And my father-in-law was like, yeah. By the way,
I just got goosebumps. That's so creepy.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So I took him after we got done with the Eagles. We saw the Eagles in Foxborough. I took him in to see the Crafts, Robert and Jonathan Kraft. So they come out. We're at their office. All their assistants come around, and Oz says to Robert Kraft, "Stick out your hands and hold my wallet. Hold my wallet right there." And he turns to Jonathan Kraft and he goes, "Jonathan, football season starting in a few weeks. I want you to think of somebody, not in football, that you're going to be talking to here in the next few weeks. Do you have the name?" And Jonathan's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, you thought of a woman first, didn't you?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "But you didn't wind up on a woman. And you wound up with somebody, there's an L in their name, isn't there?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Michael, isn't it?" And he goes, "Yeah." And then he goes to Robert Kraft. "Hey, Mr. Kraft, there's a zipper in that wallet you've been holding in your hands.
Come on,
open up that zipper." He opens up the zipper. He says, "Take out the card." And he pulls out the card and says, "Tell Michael I say hello."
Stop it, seriously.
Oh
Like,
my
it's
gosh.
crazy.
I want him to come here.
It is crazy.
So interesting.
That is
How?
crazy.
How?
I don't know. By the way, like, everybody tries to figure it out. And the story that I tell is last year when I took him to the Packers, you know, he's 3 acts in, like he's done 3 things.
Yeah.
And Aaron Jones gets up and he's pissed off. And he goes, "Man, this is a setup. You're playing us." And he goes, "What are you talking about?" He goes, You went over these tricks in advance. This is like, we're getting played here." He goes, I don't know. What's your name? "Aaron Jones." He goes, "Aaron, did you have a childhood nickname?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Does anybody in this room know your childhood nickname?" And he goes, "Nobody." He goes, "And you've never told this childhood nickname to anybody in this room ever?" He goes, "Never." And Oz walks to the front of the room. He takes a pad and he writes something down on a big peg. He goes, "Aaron, why don't you tell everybody in this room what your childhood nickname was?" And he goes, "Booby." And Oz flips the card and it says Booby.
Oh my gosh. It is just amazing.
Yeah.
We got to take a break.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to find out if we're going to find out if
crazy.
Adam Schefter has challenged anyone on the ESPN 1000 staff to a race or anything like that. So stick around. More to come here from Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. It is ESPN 1000's Football Fest. Peggy and Dionne live.
This is Peggy and Dionne. ESPN Chicago on FM 100.3 HD2, the ESPN Chicago app, and ESPN 1000.
Here comes the Chicago Bears podcast. Here comes the ball. If you aren't listening, you're not getting the whole story. Join host Pat the Designer with special guests and guest host daily. See it or hear it now on the ESPN Chicago app or wherever you like to pod. Yeah.
Apt, your #1 destination for the home, offers award-winning services for everything you need. Choose from thousands of in-stock items, whether you're replacing an old furnace or air conditioner, updating electrical work, or replacing a sink or faucet. Apt has you covered. And did you know that every product purchased from Apt comes with free lifetime technical support? Their experts are here 7 days a week to help with any questions. For free and-home delivery, professional installation, and complete satisfaction, shop where I shop at aptabt.com. Apt, pleasing people since 1936.
Hey golfers, it's Sylvie. I've been talking about Chicago's Southland's finest golf course for years, the Sanctuary in New Lenox. The Sanctuary offers 18 holes of great golf on a beautiful course. The track may be a challenge, but it's an easy drive from anywhere in Chicagoland. Sanctuary features a 20-bay heated top tracer range, a 30-station grass range, a putting green, and a short game area. Check out golfsanctuary.com for the best rates and book your tee time. You no longer need to find your golf sanctuary.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1225. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1225. That's 800-777-1225 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225.
Are you tired of looking at your old, grimy, and mildewy bathtub, looking to replace it with a beautiful walk-in shower, but cash is tight? For as little as $89 a month, no payments for 12 months for consumers who qualify, Remodeling Loans can put you into a beautiful new walk-in shower in as little as 1 day. You can rest easy knowing that Remodeling Loans, a network of certified contractors screened and handpicked by us, offers premier products, top-rated service, and value, increasing the beauty, safety, and value of your home. A new walk-in shower will also provide you with a germ-free, slip-resistant, safe, and beautiful new bathroom. Call 800-921-1403 and take advantage of our holiday special of free installation. Our agents are standing by, ready to schedule your appointment with our design team at no cost and no obligation to you. All callers will receive a free upgrade of premium colors just for calling today. A beautiful new walk-in shower is now within reach. Call 800-921-1403. That's 800-921-1403.
Live from Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. This is a special ESPN Chicago Football Fest edition of the Peggy and Dionne Show. Here comes the goal. Thanks to our participating partners, Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, Tullamore Dew, Field Cheer, and Astound Broadband. Now back to Peggy Kaczynski and Dionne Miller.
Wrapping up the kickoff to Football Fest, our 1
We're kicking it off, actually.
special. We are, yeah. Our special edition of Peggy and Dionne with our very special guest Adam Schefter, who's blown my mind about O's the Mentalist. Now I'm going to have so many things to watch from here on out.
Yeah,
I'm seriously, my mind is
before.
it's
just
amazing.
you go through and look at all these ESPN
I'm very impressed and a little freaked out all at the same time.
Well, I think a lot of people were a little freaked out, Adam, when you raced Rich Eisen.
I loved it.
What in the heck? How did that even come about? 2 Michigan guys just saying, I'm faster than you are?
No, totally spontaneous. We were at Fanatics Fest in New York City last Saturday. We happened to be around the track set. All of a sudden, somebody was like, why don't you guys race? I'm like, okay. Literally zero thought given in advance to it. And we just stepped in there. And all I know is Rich has done such an unbelievable job raising money for St. Jude, running the 40. We went to college together. We were co-sports editors of our college newspaper together.
That's awesome.
Rich was a couple of years behind me at school. And hold one sec.
I love when stuff like this happens. It makes me feel kind of like I'm important suddenly, too. I'm not.
That happens to us all the time, doesn't it?
The breaking news on
it's
our show.
typically our kids texting us.
True.
Mom, where are you?
Now that's actually true. Yes. I'm usually
during the show, that's
to
what we do. We get texts from our kids, say, Mom, where are you? We're working. We're on the air. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Adam gets texts from important people in the NFL.
Yes, this is true. This is true.
Anyway, so we got out there, we ran, and I had that was the deal.
Yeah, it was impressive. You won fair and square. You won. You beat him.
I killed him.
Yeah, you did. You
crushed him.
Now, how did you feel afterwards?
Terrible.
I was wondering.
I landed on my knees.
Yeah,
in all honesty,
well, you didn't have much runway.
Well, not only that, but I didn't even it was oh, let's race. I didn't even look to see what's at the
finish
end.
line.
Right, what's at the end? I had no idea. And so I'm running, and literally on the last few yards, I literally just tripped, I fell face first. Thank God the mat was there because if it wasn't, I would have landed on my face.
Yeah,
my teeth would have been knocked out. I didn't care. I just wanted to beat Rich.
Right.
But it was a rough deal.
I want to ask you one more question about the NFC North. It's quickly up there as one of the most competitive divisions in football. The quarterbacks, there's this group of rookie quarterbacks is turning out to hopefully be pretty incredible, what we're seeing in the preseason. But Lions, Packers, Bears ahead of the Vikings. How do you see the NFC North playing out?
I really believe that the Packers are good enough to win the division. I believe the Lions are good enough to win the division. I think the Bears, we don't know what they're going to be yet. Like, it's all like, how good and how quick is Caleb going to be there?
Right.
Like, is he going to be great from the start? That's a lot to ask.
It is.
We saw it last year with CJ Stroud, which I think spoils people and raises the roof on things. So I think the Bears are going to be in the mix here for years to come. I don't know that they're going to be as tough and as formidable as those other two teams this season, but I might be surprised. I might be wrong. Like, if Caleb comes out like CJ Stroud, maybe they are.
Yeah.
Like, that wouldn't surprise me. I'm not expecting it today, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went that way.
It'd be awesome.
Kids are going back to school. So before we let you go, I read some great advice that you give students. Dionne and I get asked all the time by college students for what's our best piece of advice. They want to go into sportscasting. And when I read about the fact that you were denied in different opportunities where you were just trying to get involved and just try to get your foot in the door in sports at Michigan, how you finally found sports writing is so fantastic. Your quick, short version as these kids are going off to school for their advice.
I like tying that together. What I would say to people is this. When I went to Michigan as a freshman in 1985, I've always been the kind of guy that liked to be busy doing things. So I went there and I rushed a fraternity my freshman year. And it was like 50 guys going for 10 spots, and I didn't get in. And when I didn't get in, I figured, well, I got to do something. So I went down to the football office to see if they needed somebody to pick up jock straps and hand out water bottles. They didn't need anybody.
Wow.
So I went to the basketball office to see if they needed somebody, and they didn't need anybody. So now I've been rejected as a freshman at the University of Michigan by the fraternity, the football team, the basketball team, and I'm like, well, what can I do? And literally because nobody else would have me, and because this next entity didn't turn away anybody, I went and volunteered for the student newspaper. And I never would have gotten there, if any of these other places had said yes. So to tie it all together, I would say to all these people who are going out to school or who are going to be going to school, and try things.
Yes.
Do things.
Yes.
Just because something doesn't work out doesn't mean that it's the end of the world in any way, shape, or form. Go try something. Go get involved. Go join clubs. Go experience things. And, go make some things happen.
You just never know the experience, how it could change your life and how it could change your focus and your vision for your own future. It's fabulous. Thank you so much. It's such a busy time. We appreciate you coming on every year with us. You are our BFF.
Thank you very much. I always appreciate and enjoy my annual visit. I hope everybody enjoys the fantasy convention today.
Adam Schefter, everybody.
So
thank you so much. And thank you to Jack McGrath, who is back in the studio. Thank you, Kevin Zepak here, who is spinning the dials up on the stage for us. Thank you to all of our sponsors.
All of our sponsors, Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, Tullamore Dew, As Found Broadband, Field Cheer, and Toyota. We do have our women-only football fantasy league starting this week. So if you want to sign up, where's that?
Go on the ESPN Chicago website, and it is closing on Tuesday, I believe. So you only have 2 days to sign up. Yes, you have to be a woman.
Yes.
And we know, my husband's going to do the draft, and we're just going to put my name down. Don't make us call you. Don't make us double check on you. It is super fun, and you have a chance to win a 2-year lease on a car. So it is super exciting.
Thank you to Advantage Acura for always supporting the fun. Peggy, an extra day with you. What a treat.
I know. Look at this.
Are we always going to dress alike?
Yeah, we have some patients coming in, so we're going to have to get back to the exam room. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. More to come here at Football Fest. And this is Peggy and Dionne, the special edition on ESPN 1000.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Carmen. Right now, schedule your free in-home estimate. And for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get the next 2 free, plus a free upgrade to triple pane glass. And they'll double your energy tax credit. Restrictions apply. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Senior golfers, ready to hit the greens and save big? Seven Bridges Golf Club has you covered with incredible senior savings all season long. Tee off Monday through Friday for just $62 before 10 a.m. Perfect for the early birds. Prefer a later start? No problem. Enjoy the championship course for just $72 after 10 a.m. With 5 sets of tees, there's a yardage that fits your game perfectly. After your round, relax at the Dock Bar and Grill, the ultimate 19th hole. Experience the best in golf and dining at Seven Bridges Golf Club.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is ESPN Chicago, WNVP, WTBC, HD2 Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
If you know to never miss Michael Wilbon on the Waddle and Sylvie Show. Appointment listening Tuesdays at 5 on ESPN Chicago. Brought to you by HawkAuto.com.
Lake Mary, Florida for all the marbles at 3 Eastern. Hey, it's Greeny, and don't look now, but football season is underway. Week 0 of college, and the NFL is right around the corner, and we are the place to talk about it all. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is Game Day on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Well, just for a second, imagine that you are a Florida State Seminoles fan